What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy and I'm coming at you with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Jazwares Micro Galaxy Squadron Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter from the Clone Wars. As you can see from the front of the bubble, this is a 1 of 15,000 rare, and I actually found this at one of my local Walmarts a week or two ago, and I honestly have been having some really good luck lately finding some of the rares and chase variants at my local Walmart locations. So if you are a collector of this line, or if you just like to look for those chase variants, definitely check out your local Walmart locations. Obviously, I'm a huge collector and supporter of this line, and I always make sure to pick up new ships when I see them in store. So, taking a look at the packaging, this is the standard style of packaging for the light armor class for this line, which is your $10 price point. At the card back here, you'll see with the newer series in the top right corner of your card back, they did add the logo of the show or movie that the vehicle is from, and I really like that they've added that in. You have your Star Wars logo here on the back. The card back is really just a blue grid background, which really fits the aesthetic of the line. You'll see on this side here, you have that this is a Series 8 release. These used to be color coded. They no longer do that. You'll see on the blister here, you have that again, that sticker, that chrome reflective sticker saying this is a 1 of 15,000 rare. And then of course you have a little cutout here showing you that you can put your minifigure into the pilot seat. You can see the vehicle, your two minifigures, Mace Windu and R8B7 down there, the name of the line, the name of the vehicle, and that this is number 170 in this line. On this side of the bubble, you have nothing. On this side of the bubble, you also have nothing. On the bottom, you have some of your legalese. Guys, please don't feed this vehicle to your babies. On the back of the card back, we have your standard layout for this line. You can see all of the different features, like that you can eject your astromech, and then the thing that we saw on the front already, which is that you can sit the pilot in the vehicle. You have a little cutout card here, which you can use as a trading card or display card for the vehicle. And then down here, you can see the rest of the vehicles, including the 1 of 5,000 chase for the light armor class in Series 8. With the packaging covered, let's get this thing opened and we'll check it out. Alright guys, here's the vehicle out of the packaging, but before we take a look at it, let's take a look at our minifigure selection. These are 1-inch scale figures. Again, you can see we have Mace Windu and R8B7, and you can see their names here. On the back, they do give you that nice little blue grid background with little cutouts of the characters, and this does match the aesthetic of the card back. Removing all that extra packaging around the minifigures, let's first take a look at our Mace Windu here. So Mace Windu does have a lot of paint apps to him, and I think it's pretty cool as this line progresses, the more intricate paint apps that these little minifigures get. So Mace Windu does have a brown color for his skin tone at the head and hands. You can also see a similar brown color for that belt with some silver at the belt buckle. And you can also see in silver here, they've even painted the sculpted lightsaber hilt, which is awesome. That paint for the brown belt goes all the way around to the back. And then of course down at the legs here, you can see a little bit of a lighter color for those pants. And then they did also include a dark brown for the boots. As far as the articulation goes on this guy, he has the standard articulation scheme. For most of the figures in this line, there is a rod that runs through the shoulders, and that does give you a full 360-degree swivel, and there is a rod that runs through the hips, which does let you have a hinge, which gets you a bend of 90 degrees, so obviously he could be seated inside the vehicle. Taking a look at our astromech here, this is a fun little kind of side collection that you could make out of this line, is how many different astromechs and how many different paint schemes there are. I really like this one as the base of the body is a dull gray, and then you have some nice bright yellow and matte blue for those extra accented paint apps there. There's a little bit of smearing on the yellow where the photoreceptor is on my droid here, but that's nothing to worry about because at a scale this small, I'm not really concerned about all that. Now let's take a look at the ship. So this is obviously a repaint of a vehicle we've seen several times, jumping all the way back to Series 1 of this line when it launched with the Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter from Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. This one has a slightly different color scheme, as did every Jedi in the Order, and I think that's a really cool thing to show just the individuality of the Jedi, is having each one's Jedi Starfighter have a unique paint scheme. What I do really like here is the nice printed Republic cog on the wing here. You can also see a couple Republic cogs on the back of the cockpit area. These are not symmetrical, and I couldn't see that before I pulled this out of the box, but just a little bit of a QC error that looks pretty lame, but you know, we'll just chalk it up to Mace Windu was in a rush when he painted this thing. But taking a look at the whole vehicle here, you'll see top and bottom of the vehicle is covered very nicely in a dark wash, and I think it brings out a lot of the sculpted detail and a lot of the paneling on the ship without doing something like panel lining. You can also see that on the opposite side of where we have the Republic cog on the top of the ship, you have another decal for a Republic cog down here. As far as color goes, you can see it's kind of in that base, very light gray, almost white color, and there are some nice darker grays as well as some maroons, or almost like a brick color, along with some green accents as well. I think that the design of the ship is very, very nice. And then of course you have your cockpit area, which can be opened by the little pull tab here. Some of these can get stuck a little bit, but as long as you can get your fingernail under there, you shouldn't have much problem with it. You can see also the thrusters here, by the way, are painted in a nice light blue, and then on the inside here, no paint, but you can see lots of sculpted detail for the interior of the ship, and lots of room for Mace Windu to sit in there. So of course, let's take Mace Windu and get him in the vehicle. So as I showed before, we'll get him seated, and he fits very nicely in the vehicle. You'll see that he has plenty of room for his feet. They go right up against the flight yoke there, and then we can take that hatch, put it down, and you can see him very clearly through the clear plastic of the viewport, and it looks really great. I love that you can see a lot of the characters in the ships when they're flying them. As far as our astromech, you can see there is a little peg hole in the bottom of the droid with a corresponding peg in the astromech port here. We'll slap him into the vehicle here, and he fits in there very snugly. Now, as was advertised on the packaging, there is a little button down here, which is honestly pretty flush here with some of those silver paint applications that you can see on the underneath of the ship. All you do is push up on that button, and it'll eject your droid. Obviously, if you gave this a little more force, it would go a little bit more dramatically, but that is a really nice way without having to try and pinch and pull the droid out of the astromech port there. Of course, this ship, like with all of the other Jedi Starfighters in the line, does have landing gear, so you have one piece of landing gear that rotates on a hinge on each side here. Definitely be careful with some of these hinges. I've had issues with X-Wings in this line breaking when you're trying to pull out the landing gear because it gets stuck. If that's the case, my best recommendation is to dip these in hot water for a little bit. It's not going to affect the paint or hurt the ship at all. It'll just help loosen up those hinges there. But you'll see with all three of those landing skids extended there, you can get the ship into a nice landed position, and it's ready to join the rest of my Jedi Starfighters in my Clone Wars display. And with that, guys, that wraps up my quick little review for this ship. If you see this one, definitely pick it up. I'm a big Mace Windu fan, and I'm a big Clone Wars fan, so this one was definitely a pickup for me. If you enjoyed this review and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you're an ARC trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this review early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, and other awesome benefits, check out the link to my Patreon and become an ARC trooper for just $4.99 a month. If you'd like to support the YouTube channel more directly, or you're just a fan of the reviews I do here on the channel, you could check out my channel membership, Rancor Battalion. As a channel member, you get access to exclusive badges and priority replies in my comment section, as well as voting on what I review next for the channel. In addition to that, you could check out the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify if you'd like some Blitz Transmissions swag, and I also have links to my Discord and all my social media in the description. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. Squad 2, pick your targets. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody, cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. I'm hit. Where's our reinforcements?